I listen to a ton of comedian podcasts, not because I think I'm hilarious, just because A, I like laughing, and B, I really enjoy their process for thinking, creating, and doing. Case in point, Seinfeld, Jerry Seinfeld, in case you didn't know, and if you don't know who Seinfeld is, we might not be able to be friends. Rarely, if ever, does podcasts. Man doesn't need to. But on a couple of recent podcasts, I think he was promoting his book, he retold an old story that I had forgotten from years ago. It was the story about how he was looking outside his Manhattan apartment one day trying to write, and he was just sitting there with a blank pad and couldn't think of anything and was just, going to give up. And this is before, his days where he became absolutely famous worldwide. And he was watching these construction workers across the street. And I'm sure he was trying to come up with some kind of observation. Hey, what's the deal with those metal lunch boxes? Terrible impression, but you get the point. And he noticed that the lunch bell rang, just like it does on the Flintstones. And they all got up and then went back to work. And it was a hot, muggy day, dangerous equipment. They didn't look happy. And he thought, man, they have to go back to work. They can't just throw in the wrench and say, that's it, boys. I'm out. Don't even want my last check. They have to go back to work. And then they go and do it. And then they didn't complain while they were doing it. And he was thinking to himself, here I sit, air-conditioned apartment with a pen and paper. And yes, I know writing can be very difficult. However, he vowed at that point that he was going to write every single day. So to keep himself on track, he had this calendar, a little calendar you keep on the board. He would take a red marker and put an X every day that he wrote. Now he knew that writing wasn't going to just suddenly pop off the, pen to paper, and that everything he wrote wasn't going to be Shakespeare. In fact, 90+% of it gets thrown away. But the only way to get better, and the only way to become consistent, was to do it every day. Then he did it for a long time. And then one day he skipped and he realized, I broke the chain. It made him feel bad. He said, I don't want to break that chain. I want it to be as long as humanly possible. So he just kept doing it and got it as long as he could because he didn't want to break the chain. And that's the difference. One of the major differences I hear over and over from top comedians is that they just write and create daily. They'll go to the Chuckle Hut and Zanies and they'll just keep on working their material. And after they get an hour, they do a Netflix special, HBO special. They take that hour, throw it away, start over. A lot of the other comedians that I see, here in Nashville all of the time that have never made it big time are still doing the same jokes they were 15 years ago. What does that mean for you and I? I've had to learn to not break the chain in several areas. I know you've heard me say again and again, I got a book coming out. And for a long time, there was no chain. And then I finally dug deep, figured out I got to write on this thing every day, even if I throw away half of it. And sure enough, I did. Started creating that chain. Same as doing the videos like I'm doing right now. In order to keep my speaking chops up to speed, or to make sure that you remember I exist, or to help you in any way, I have to do something like this every single day. So what about for you? That could be something as simple as a marketing activity that you keep putting off, whatever that may be, that helps keep the pipeline full, whether it's networking or spending time on a social media platform that you'd rather not be on, or creating the email marketing, or maybe it's something else to grow your business or to grow your team. And maybe it's a weekly or even daily report that you need to get to your employees, or they get back to you, or just a visit you need to make to certain employees to help keep them on track, to keep them motivated. Should be maybe checking your financial statements on a daily or weekly basis. Maybe you got a scorecard that you're continuing to ignore. Find a way to get your own chain going. And then once you do that, you'll realize that you don't want to break the chain. And then maybe one day you'll have a hit NBC sitcom that will live in infamy.